Hello CAD students, this is Mr. Erickson, your CAD instructor. I'm creating a short little demonstration of this week 1 assignment so everybody gets off on the right start. If you have any questions, please let me know. My contact information is in Canvas. The first assignment is week 1, assignment 1. It has to do with what we're doing in this assignment is we are creating a dimension style and we are using architectural dimensions. The first step is to draw a little elevation of a building, and we're going to get to that in a second. Let's look at the instructions before we get started. So this is called week 1, assignment 1. What you are tasked to do is draw the front elevation as shown on page 452 in your book. It's chapter 15. It's drawing problem number 16. So you have to draw the line work that's shown, and that is this picture over here. In your drawing, in your DWG file, you won't have this. This is something I added just so we can look at the page as I'm going. There are instructions that are included in this assignment, but ignore these. These don't pertain to our exercises. This is for the previous chapter. All we are concerned with is the line work and the dimensions. So you're going to draw this little elevation here, and you're going to add the dimensions. After we draw the line work, you're going to create a dimension style, and then you will use that dimension style to add the dimensions as shown in that image. Why are we doing this? This is the first chance for me to see how your abilities and to see how comfortable you are drafting, or if you need any help, or if you need to, if you're very comfortable, then I can give you some supplemental work so you can, be learning in this class. How are you doing it? Well, you're supposed to use AutoCAD 2016. Hopefully everybody's downloaded it and has it ready to go. If you have any questions, send me an email. You can also contact the lab assistant. You have to download this DWG file to use, and it has these instructions in it. This is in the week 1 module. The requirements are that you need to draw this with precision. CAD is a precision tool, and you have to always use it as such. You need to make sure all your horizontal lines are horizontal and vertical lines are vertical, that all the endpoints are coinciding. That means there's no gaps, no overlaps, and that the dimensions match what's shown on the page. The page for you guys is 452, so this was from the previous version of the book. Let me change that right now. There should be no fractions in your dimensions unless it's shown as a fraction on the drawing. When you're complete this drawing, you should upload it as is to Canvas, and there'll be a link to upload it through Canvas through the assignment. It's due by the end of the first week at midnight on Sunday. Alright, so let's look at what we have here. Here's the drawing. It's just a simple little building. Has a gable roof on it, has a little bit of an overhang, has some windows. So what we're going to do to start is to make sure that we are using the correct layers. So I'll go to the Home tab up here, come over and look at the layers. There's only 2 layers in here, so we're going to use layer 0 for this. The next thing we need to check is to make sure that our snaps are correct. So down here in the status bar on the bottom, we will come over here to this button. You can right click on it and then go to Object Snap Settings, and these are the snaps that I have set. I don't really need the node, so I'll turn that off. I don't really use the extension. These are the ones that I primarily have on as a running object snap, which means they're on all the time. So I have endpoint, midpoint, center, quadrant, intersection, and perpendicular. Other ones I turn on if I need as a snap override, a one-time override, but these are the ones I always leave on. So I click OK. I need to make sure that button is blue. That means the snaps are turned on. Okay, so First thing I'm going to do is look at my building here. So the overall width of the building is 16 foot 6. That brings up another important point. I mean, I've already set this file up, but you should always check to make sure your units are correct. And the way you do that is to type in the word units. You start the units command, hit enter, and this is the drawing units command. Up here it says the length type is architectural, and that's what we want for this, which is feet and inches. The other options that we use will probably be either decimal sometimes or architectural. Click OK if it's correct. So start the line command. I can click on the button. I'll just start drawing somewhere in this general area. It doesn't really matter where for this exercise. Click here. Want to make sure that my line is going to be completely horizontal, so I need to either have my ortho on or polar tracking. In this case I use polar tracking. That's the one I like to use. So that blue button down here in the status bar is turned on, which means it will give me a snap whenever I'm horizontal, or if I'm vertical it kind of snaps for me. It keeps it. But you have to make sure your line is perfectly horizontal or vertical. So I start going that direction, type 16, use the foot symbol, 6, and press enter. So it's always important that you double check your work. Don't assume that it's correct. In this case, the easiest way to check it is to use the measure geom command, which is a button up here in the home tab, in the home ribbon, in this tab over here. So you click on that, click on the left side of the line, click on the right side, and it'll tell you down here in the command bar that the distance was 16 foot 6, which is correct. For me, I use a shortcut called the distance command, which is DI. Type it in and click, and it does the exact same thing. It shows me right down here in my command line that the distance was 16 foot 6. Right, so that's correct. As far as the height of the building, what I have is this over here is 21 foot 5 to the top of the wall where it hits the roof. So on the left side, I'm going to draw a line straight up, 21 foot 5. I know that it's the exact same on the other side, so directly across from it. So I can either copy this line, or I can draw another line and just use my tracking, object snap tracking. So I know that one is aligned with it now, so I have two lines that are the same. If I drew this line across, it should hit directly right on there, which it does. What we're going to have to do here is we have a slope for the roof. The roof slope is 12 in 9, so that means for the run is 12, the rise is 9. The way I can get that is to come over here, draw a little horizontal line that is 12 inches, draw a vertical line that comes down 9 inches, and then just connect from that endpoint to that endpoint. Give me the hypotenuse, and that's the slope. That's the correct slope. That's so for 12 inches of run, 9 inches of rise, and that's the correct slope. So I will copy that and move it over here, snap it to that point. This is symmetrical, so that point, the ridge line right there, is right perfectly down the middle of the building. So if I draw a line that is perfectly snapped to the midpoint, goes straight up, vertical, then I can extend this line from here till it hits there. That'll give me the inside of my roof. So I'm going to use the extend command. Extend. This is where it's going to extend to. Hit enter. Click the line. There we go. Now, for me, the easiest thing to do is just to mirror it. Mirror it. So click on the mirror. This is my axes. Enter. Oh wait, I did that backwards. Let me mirror. Select my object. Enter. This is my mirror line. come straight down, click. Disappeared, let me try it again, enter. Click here, come straight down, click. Then I have to read my options. It's very important that you always read your options. Look down here. Do you want to erase the source object? The answer is no. Click on no. So, and then I can erase this middle line. I don't know exactly how the depth of this, but I know the length of this line here. So I don't know what that depth is. So what I can do is to draw a line that is at that angle, but that length. And I also know where that line starts at, how high it is, because it's 6'10" above that point right there. So that's the top of the wall, but then another 6'10" up gives me the top of that ridge. So I know where it starts, and I know how long it is, and I know the angle it is. So that is all the information that I need. So I come over here, draw straight over till it snaps there. Then I can draw a line straight up that is 6'10". Okay, so that's the starting point. All right, so to add the upper line, I'm going to use my dynamic input. Dynamic input is down here in the status bar. The shortcut key to turn it on and off is F12. So I'm going to use that in this mode. So I need to make sure it's turned on. I'm going to copy this one. The shortcut command for copy is CO. Snap right here, then snap right there. Now, what I want to do is, it needs to be longer, and it needs to be 12 feet 4 1/2 inches. So I need to lengthen it. Now, if I click on the line and I hover over this grip right here, I'm going to get two options. One is stretch, one is lengthen, and I want to lengthen it. So I'm going to click on lengthen, and it will keep it in that same angle as you can see here. So it's keeping that same exact angle. I can't go any other angle except on that angle. And I have two numbers that dynamic input is showing me. One is the difference from what it was, so how much it's added or how much it's subtracted, and the other number is the overall. Well, I know the overall. I mean, I could figure out the other number, but that's going to require me to do a little bit of math, and you know, my math is average at best, and I'm prone to error because I'm human. So I would rather let the computer do it, which the computer is good. So I'm going to hit the tab key to switch to the other number. Now I can type in 12 quote 4 dash 1 slash 2. So it's very specific how it has to be done in AutoCAD, because if you hit the space bar, it means enter. So you have to do 12 quote, which is the foot symbol, then the number 4 dash, then 1, then the slash, and then the 2. So, all right, so there we go. So we have that one, and now I can just mirror it to the other side. So use my mirror command, click on the line, click enter, click that point, go straight down, click, then look at my options. Do I want to erase the source object, yes or no? The answer is no, and there we go. I can erase my little construction line that I added. All right, so now I need a line that is perpendicular to this, and you know, I can stretch this out and do like I just did, so I can lengthen it, bring it out past there. And then I'm going to draw a line from here. Start the line command, L, enter, click there, and I have my perpendicular snap on, so I want to look for that snap. As soon as I see the snap pop up, I know, even if I click right here, even if I click right there, I see that perpendicular snap, and I know it's going to snap exactly to that line, and it's going to be perpendicular. So see how I did that? All right, so now I just need to trim that little extra piece off. TR for trim, select everything with a right to left selection, which is a green selection, enter, and click on the line. Right? I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side, so click, hover, lengthen, bring it out, click line, enter, start point, look for my perpendicular snap right there, click, and then TR for trim, enter. When I say enter, I'm hitting the space bar. Space bar means the same thing as enter. Again, a right to left selection, which is the green selection, selects everything, hit enter, and then trim. So now I have the outline for the building. The rest of it is adding the windows. So now we don't know exactly how high the windows are above the ground, and that means we're going to be able to use our judgment. You want to match roughly what is shown visually, and you want to make the numbers be round numbers. If you have the option of controlling the dimension, especially in architecture, make sure that you use a round number, which means no fraction. Okay, we can control it, so we'll make it a round number. So this bottom window is 8'4" wide, 5'6" high. All right, windows typically are around 3 feet, 30 inches off the ground, something like that. So we'll probably use that. So I'm just going to make a rectangle, so I'm going to use a polyline. Start anywhere, just get it started. Make sure it's horizontal. 8'4", enter, straight up. 5'6", enter. Then I can use my object snap tracking. Click, and then now I just want to close it off, so I can type C and hit enter. Now it's not centered yet, so I gotta grab it. I gotta use the move command, so M, enter. Select it with the right to left selection. Right click to enter it, the command. Grab the midpoint and snap it to that midpoint right there. Now I know it's centered on the building. Now I want to move it up, and I'm going to do that with M, enter, select it, enter, click anywhere, start going straight up, and then type in the distance. So I'll type in, let's try 30 inches. So 30 and enter. Let's see what it looks like. I think it's a little low, so I'm going to move it another 6 inches. Move, enter, grab it, enter, click anywhere, start going straight up, 6, enter. All right. So it's got some, those are called dividers, or they're muttons is what it's really called, but we'll just call them dividers. So we have 3 in this direction and 1 this direction. So the horizontal one is easy. So just line, snaps to the midpoint there. The other one, it's divided equally into equal numbers, so it's going to be pretty easy. So I'll click right there, that's midpoint. Grab that, grip edit it, just drag it down. Now I can draw a line from anywhere from, I'm going to snap right there with the nearest snap. I typed in NEA and it gave me a nearest snap, and then I just clicked anywhere on the line. Now I'm going to go straight across it so it's perpendicular. And then I'm going to go from the midpoint up, grip snap it, grip edit it, erase that line, and then I'm going to use the mirror command. MI, enter, right to left selection, enter, click here, go straight up, enter, click no. Right, so that's the first one. Now the second one's a little bit tricky because it's not exactly the same size. You know, this one is bigger here. This is 10'2". The height is the same size, but where things line up are not exactly the same. But we do know that this is, the radius of that circle is 3'1 1/2. So that is a little information we can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this up, and it looks like it's about the same distance from there to there, from there to there, from the ground to the bottom of the window, from the top of the window to the next bottom of the top window. So I need a reference point, so that'll be 36. All right, there we go. Copy my windows. So one thing you want to do in AutoCAD is try to be as resourceful as possible and try to keep from redrawing the same element over and over again. You want to copy as much as you can. I'm going to delete this one because I know there's only one right there, and it's kind of right there. So it's a square. That's the one thing that we know, is that it's square. So if you look at this, this is square, square, square. So that means that this middle window is 5'6" high, but it's also 5'6" wide. Okay. So 5'6", let's say. That's 2'6", 2'9" is the half of that, because 2'6" is half of 5, and then what's left over is 6. So we add another 3. That's 2'9". I'm going to offset this using the offset command. I typed O and hit enter. Then it's asking me for the distance. Type in 2'9", enter. So there and there. And I can just trim these off here and hit erase. All right, so see how that's perfectly square. That's what this one is. This one's perfectly square. And then these ones on the end here are the same size as these ones, as each one of these panels. So this panel is about the same size as that panel. Let me click on this. All right. So I can do a rectangle command, REC, enter. So copy this. I'm just going to draw right over the top of that. Now I have another one right. I have a rectangle right on top of that. So I'm going to move it now from here to there, and then move it over maybe. Let's see, that's 2 inches. I'll probably do, I'll do 2 inches. Let's see. That looks right. Yeah, it's not bad. So that's 2 inches over. There's a line right down the middle. And then I can mirror it. All right, there we go, there. All right, so now all I need to do is draw my arched window at the top. And I know the radius is 3'1 1/2. And it's about 2 inches above this. So I'm going to start a line, go up 2 inches, and I'm going to make a circle. So it's just a little bit easier right now. So I'm just going to make a circle, click there, 2'1 1/2. And something's not right. So let's try it again. Oh, it's 3 foot. 3'1 1/2. Click on it. Go to the properties over here. If properties weren't open, I could just right click on it, go to properties. And 2 foot, I'm going to change my 2 to a 3. That'll make it a little bit bigger. There you go. All right. And now I know this line goes from there to there, and extend it over here. And then trim that off. Trim. Erase. And then I have the 3 lines to put on the inside, and they're going straight up from the middle. And then with my dynamic input on, I should get a 45 snap, which I do. Snap. There. Dynamic input. Snap. And there we go. All right, so that's the first part of this exercise. I'm going to stop it there so it doesn't get insanely long. The next step will be creating the dimension style and adding the dimensions.